Crystal Marie, your host of the Diva Circle. The Diva Circle is a talk show for women like you, like me, like us, the total woman. We talk beauty, health, encouragement, and the faith needed to get us through life. Think of the Diva Circle as your extended circle of friends. Welcome into the Diva Circle.
The book that we are loving today is Gentlewoman, Etiquette for a Lady from a Gentleman. Innocent Barriola follows his first book, Barriolesque, the contemporary gentleman and etiquette book for the urban sophisticate, with this new book that gives advice for women from the heart of a true gentleman. With contributions from Megan Good and Brian Michael Cox, this book is a must-have for the woman who wants to hear what it's like to be a lady from a man's perspective. For more information on the book, read our review on thedivainc.com under the lifestyle section.
Welcome to the Diva Circle. I'm your host, Crystal Marie, and this is Jessica, Yvette, and Adrian. Thank you, ladies, for being on the show. Today, we're going to be talking about relationships. I was watching a recent sermon that Bishop T.D. Jakes gave on transformational relationships, and I was so impressed with the guest that he had on. He had on Van Moody, who is the author of The People Factor. So I was so amazed by the things that he was speaking about that I immediately went out and purchased the book. He transforms the way that you think about relationships and why you enter or stay in them. One of the most beneficial parts of the book for me was when he was speaking about why you let go of certain relationships and how that's healthy for you. Have you ever been in a situation where you let go of a relationship, and why did you do that?
It's getting personal. Definitely. I was married before and divorced, so that was a huge decision to let go of a relationship that wasn't healthy. And the way I envision it, even now, even though some people think I'm a little odd, I feel that I did us all a favor. Mm-hmm. I feel that by deciding to end the relationship, I gave myself space to find the right person for me, mm-hmm. and I gave my ex-husband the space to find the right person for him, so that we could live better lives. And so I totally agree with that whole concept that, you know, sometimes you're in a relationship for a moment in time, and it's there to teach you something, or in my case, I think to bring someone into the world, my son, and then sometimes that they run their course. Mm-hmm. And you have to be mindful of that and just be proactive and positive about how you decide to end it.
May I ask, because I'm curious, what was the turning point then?
The turning point, to be really honest, was I had my son, and I started seeing my life through the eyes of my kid, and started realizing that my life kind of sucks, and I don't want my son to see this as an example of what a good relationship is, or that this is how people who love each other treat each other. And he was really my impetus to change my life. And I did it more for him, because I guess I just didn't have the courage or maybe the insight to do it before he was born.
Well, I can't really say that there's been a point where I cut someone off, but I can say that some relationships may have dissolved. There was a point I remember in particular where it seemed like there was a lot of tension, and we just kind of went our separate ways for a while, me and another friend of mine. But at the end of the day, we ended up coming back, and I think the friendship is stronger for having to just, kind of just step away, if you will, on both parties' ends. And so, no, I can't say that I've, excommunicated anyone or cut someone off. But
you were dead to me.
It's like, oh, I'm gonna fall out on my couch because you are dead to the world. No, nothing like that. But just step away. Mm-hmm. And if it's meant to be to come back together, in any type of relationship, I think this applies. Then it'll happen.
I don't think that I've ever cut anyone out of my life, though after reading this book, there may be some relationships that I do rethink. But I think I've definitely outgrown some relationships. I still have relationships from high school that, you know, when I talk to these people, they're still kind of stuck in high school, and I've grown so much, and it's hard. And it's nothing that they've done. They're great friends, but the conversation and that growth is not there. It seems like it's a one-way street, and that was a little bit difficult for me. But after reading, like I said, after reading Van's book, I mean, I think there are some relationships that you do have to rethink.
I think in our last episode we were talking about the people who we surround ourselves
Yes.
with, and I think that it's very healthy. And we grow and we change, and there are different phases in our lives, and I think that relationships should reflect that. And I don't think it's necessarily negative. I just think it's natural.
But I mean, for me, I just feel like there's a guilt there.
A guilt.
guilt.
Why?
What do you mean?
Well, because for this particular relationship that I'm talking about, he hasn't done anything to me. He's been a very good friend for years, but there's just not that growth. Like, so the conversations are still stuck in high school, and I don't think that's growing me or growing him in any way.
And you.
But there's a guilt there. There's a guilt because, you know, usually when you let go of a relationship, it's because some person has hurt you, or you know, something like that.
It doesn't have to be that dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
can be you just don't have the same interests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's okay. I don't feel that you should feel guilty about it. I think it's natural.
Did you feel guilty when you got a divorce? Was
No.
there any guilt there?
No, and as a matter of fact, I mean, I felt like this is a good thing. This is gonna help you. It's gonna help me. This is gonna be a wonderful, wonderful new starting point. But I'm kind of odd that way. I just tend to see the world really optimistically. Like, this is a change, and it's gonna be for the positive. I don't think he would say that, and I have to be mindful of that. But I believe that no, there was no guilt whatsoever. I feel like I did him a favor.
In The People Factor, Van Moody quoted Proverbs 27:17, where he says, "As iron sharpens iron, so does one sharpen another." How do the people that you surround yourself with sharpen you? What is it that you're looking for in that friendship?
Growth. Definitely. I need to. I try to surround myself with people who can make me grow, and hopefully I can do the same for that person. And sometimes the people who make you grow are not always the ones who make you most comfortable. That's the thing. You don't
That's
need
true.
a choir of people preaching your values,
Yeah.
and you need someone to show you how to get to the next step.
Yes, you don't need yes people.
You don't always
Right.
need yes. Sometimes you do when you're feeling a bit
Any
crap.
agitators.
Yeah, but sometimes your friends, if they're your true friends, they won't say, "Oh, that was such a great job you did." They'll say, "I think you did a good job. I think you can improve by doing X, Y, and Z."
Right.
And I've been, I think when I was younger, I tried to please a lot of people. Now I don't care so much for that, just because you don't have so much time on your hands, or you realize you don't have as much time, and I think it's best to surround yourself with, like you said, positive people and people who can just make you a better self, I guess. Yeah.
I agree.
Do you really think about like why you're seeking out certain friendships? I mean, I think, when we were younger, you met somebody on the schoolyard, you wanted to be friends, you became friends. That was it.
I can't say that I actually seek out friendships right now. I think they just happen to organically happen. And I think in looking for something, you're kind of looking to, well, let me retract that. In looking for something, I don't know that you can say that there's a pureness about it, right? In that you're actually looking to develop or form this. Whereas if it happens organically, I think you can get a lot out of the relationship.
And I think you have different people in your life, so it's like I have a variety of different types of friends, and some of them are shopping buddies and fashion buddies. Others are moms of teenagers or young adults, I guess. Others are colleagues from work who we have things in common, and now we've become friends. So it's a variety, because every one of us has multifacets.
Yeah.
And so I think that your friends kind of reflect that.
Yeah.
And to your point, you don't necessarily want everyone to be just like you.
Right.
Yeah.
It's wonderful if they
Exactly.
share things that you have in common, but for the most part, it's like some of the folks I have the most fun with are the ones who are the most different from me.
Yeah.
You know?
Agreed.
No, it's funny that you bring that up because I was talking with another one of my girlfriends, and she was saying that she doesn't have friends that she puts in categories. So she has either you're her friend or you're not. And for me, I do have categories like you. I have, maybe not the shopping buddies, but I do have what I call my inner circle, and those are people that I like pray with or laugh with or can be very vulnerable with. And then I have other friends that maybe we work together, or maybe we met at church or something, and maybe they're not my prayer circle, right? But they are those other friends that I can talk to, or something we just share a mutual interest with. And so I do have friends that are in certain categories, and not many are in that inner circle. So do you guys categorize your friendships, or how does that work for you?
I haven't. It just so happens that I have friends that I do X with. I have friends I do Y with. Sometimes they mesh well together, sometimes they don't.
But it's just happened.
But it just happens, right? And so I know, for example, I can go to a certain set of friends and do certain things with them. Other friends, maybe I can do the same thing, maybe not. The categories aren't there for me, though. It just happens that maybe we hang out, maybe we go to brunch, maybe we shop.
I don't think that it's a mindful thing
Yeah.
that you're going somewhere and you're like, she's gonna be my shopping buddy, and he's gonna be my movie guy. Or, I don't think it's like that. I think it is very organic that you naturally like someone, and then that person, whatever you have in common, maybe that's what kind of keeps you guys together or pulls you together, and then it expands from there. But I'm not a proponent of mindful categorization of your friends.
Yeah, I mean, I think it happens. You probably do it anyway, just because there are some people you will interact more with, and others you'll interact more with your son. You'll interact more with your best friend than, for example, your colleague at work. So, in your daily actions, you probably categorize it, but just not deliberately. At the same time, with that being said, I think in any relationship, it's fluid. So one day you guys could be colleagues for maybe 5 years, and all of a sudden maybe you have a shared interest or a trauma happens in someone's life, and you become much closer because of that. So I think it's very fluid. You don't need to actively categorize it. I don't know if it actually serves a purpose to actively categorize it. You just spend that time when the time comes for you to spend that time with that person.
Yeah, I think it's human nature to categorize things, though. I think that's just human nature, bottom line. But at the end of the day, if you're sitting there and you're saying, okay, this friend's here, or this friend's there, or this friend's there, then I would think maybe we should take a step back.
But to that point, like, you're not going to pray with everyone. Like, we're taught, if you're in faith, right? If you're in faith, you're taught not everybody should be your prayer partner.
Correct.
Not everybody should be able to lay hands on you. So those are the people that I say I put in my inner circle.
Yes, you definitely have people that you go to for certain things, right? I wouldn't necessarily say I've categorized them, but inadvertently, because I think, again, it's human nature to categorize.
Right.
And whether or not I tell you you're a part of my inner circle, by sheer coincidence of the fact that I've asked you to pray for me, or... Sorry, I lost my balance.
You can take us all down.